Welcome to Neural News Hub. Let's get right into your global briefing for February 26, 2026. We're looking at a world walking on a razor's edge, caught between these high-stakes peace talks on one side and the undeniable drumbeat of war on the other. So what you're seeing today, it's like our planet is on two totally different tracks at the exact same time. On one track, you've got this delicate diplomatic gambit playing out in Geneva, this fragile hope for a peaceful solution. And then on the other track, there's this massive storm gathering in the Middle East with military hardware moving into place on a scale we haven't seen in years. These two things are happening right now, and you can just feel the tension in the air. Okay, let's zoom in on Geneva for a second. This is round 3 of the indirect talks between the US and Iran, and Oman is right in the middle playing that crucial mediator role. It all boils down to a classic standoff, really. Iran wants the crippling sanctions lifted, like for good, and its frozen assets released. In return, the US is demanding solid, verifiable proof that Tehran is reining in its nuclear program. A lot of people are calling this the last real off-ramp before things get ugly. But there's a huge roadblock, and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio just spelled it out for everyone. For the Americans, this isn't just about the nuclear stuff. It's also about Iran's ballistic missiles. His point is brutally clear. Iran's refusal to even put its missile program on the table is a big, big problem. It's the kind of thing that could sink the whole deal. And, while the diplomats are talking in Europe, the Pentagon is moving pieces on the chessboard in the Middle East. Right now, the U.S. has its largest concentration of military force in and around the Persian Gulf since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Let's be clear. This isn't just sending a message. This is a massive projection of power. It's designed to add some serious weight to the American side of the negotiating table. And here's what that buildup actually looks like in hard numbers. We're talking about 2, not 1, but 2 full carrier strike groups. That's the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Gerald R. Ford. Each one is basically a floating city of firepower. And on top of that, a dozen F-22 Raptors, America's absolute best air superiority fighters, have just landed in Israel for the first time. The key thing to understand here is that this feels a lot more like offensive posturing than just plain defense. Which really brings us to the big question, right? Is this kind of old-school show of force, this carrier diplomacy, is that the only way to get what you want on the world stage in 2026? Or is there another model of influence, maybe something a little more subtle, that's quietly taking shape in the shadows of this crisis? Well, the answer might be found in a brand new doctrine called intelligent warfare. India's top general, Anil Chauhan, has basically outlined a massive strategic pivot. He's arguing that the wars of the future won't just be fought with ships and planes in the physical world. No, they'll be fought in the synthetic and cognitive realms. It's about blending everything, the physical, the digital, the psychological, into one seamless strategy. And this is not just some theory on a PowerPoint slide. Just this week, while all eyes were on the Gulf, India and Israel quietly signed 16 new strategic pacts. And just look at what they're about: artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, defense, and space. This is intelligent warfare in action. It's about building alliances based on who can dominate the technology of tomorrow. So here's the key takeaway, what we're calling the strategic nexus. On one hand, you have that classic carrier diplomacy, the 20th century model of projecting power that we're seeing from the US. But then you have this other thing emerging. Let's call it sovereign trade. This is where nations like India and Israel are forging these incredibly deep, resilient partnerships built on tech. And really, both of these paths have the same ultimate goal: to dominate the future battle space of military AI. And, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi summed it up perfectly. When he spoke to the Israeli Knesset, he called this new tech-focused alliance a natural foundation for a forward-looking partnership. Think about that phrase. This isn't just about a few trade deals. This is about 2 countries co-developing the tools that are going to define power for the rest of this century. It's a third way, somewhere between traditional diplomacy and all-out war. So you have these 2 totally distinct models of power playing out right now. One is loud and very clear in the waters of the Gulf. The other is being built quietly but quickly in the labs and servers of this new alliance. To keep tracking how these global strategies are shifting and what it all means for our future, please hit the like and subscribe button for more updates. We'll be here connecting the dots for you.